Russia's intervention in Crimea has mobilised the European Union. At an emergency summit on Thursday, EU leaders announced punitive measures such as suspending talks with Moscow on establishing visa-free travel for Russians and pressing for a negotiated solution to the crisis in Ukraine. They also threatened sanctions.
Any further steps by the Russian Federation to destabilise the situation in Ukraine would lead to severe and far-reaching consequences for relations between the European Union and its member states on the one hand and the Russian Federation on the other hand.
Moscow has vowed to retaliate if sanctions are imposed, but overall Europe has less to lose than the Russians in any tit-for-tat economic conflict. European exports to Russia represent only 1% of the bloc's GDP, but Russian exports to the EU count for 15% of Russia's gross domestic product. Business analysts Oxford Economics believe a trade war between Brussels and Moscow would result in a rise in energy prices in Europe by 15% for gas and 10% for oil. All in all, the Eurozone's GDP would decline slightly between now and 2015. But for Oxford Economics, the biggest loser would be Russia, with a fall in the ruble accompanied by a leap in inflation. As for the impact of any economic spat on the European Union, among its 28 member states, some have more to lose than others.
Germany is highly dependent on gas coming from Russia, also through the Ukraine. So the ties are there. You also have lots of German companies actually investing in Russia because Russia was supposed to be the growth market for many corporates.
About a third of Germany's gas and oil comes from Russia. Some 6,000 German businesses are established there and 200,000 jobs in Germany depend on trade with Russia. Strong encouragement indeed for Berlin to convince Moscow to sit down at the negotiating table.